Welcome to DFS Insights, where the game behind the game comes to life. My name is David Geislinger, and alongside me is David Grant Jr., my cousin and co-strategist. The teams up on the block are the Memphis Grizzlies at the Golden State Warriors.
Yes, sir. This is where each of us are going to be giving you our three key players to focus on while creating each of your lineups. Dave and I are going to give you a quick breakdown of what we like about the three main plays, and make sure to stay tuned until the very, very end, where we're going to give out two completely free lineups for you.
Yeah, at the end. So if you are eager to see that end game first, we do have those two lineups as you mentioned. They are in the the lineup timestamp listed in the description below. But if you're here to craft a winning strategy with depth, stick around. We're about to give you, three key players each, and break down the overall game. That can help you not only just build that one, get one free lineup, but also help you build multiple lineups that could potentially hit that money. So, whether you just want to skip ahead or, stick to the whole game plan, we got you covered. Speaking of winning, we did end up pulling another first place here against the Denver, Minnesota, a super chalky lineup. About 116 people got first, but yeah, just did the one entry to kind of get the ownership values and ended up placing first on it.
Yep, out of 6,000. Going from last week, you had a first place, I had a first place. Starting off this week, you got a first place. I'd say we're getting this, it's on these single games down. So, definitely stay here and don't just fast forward to the end. Those free lineup, we got some analysis here for you, real quick.
All right, so like we mentioned, this is the Memphis Grizzlies at the Golden State Warriors. Golden State is actually favored by 10, which shouldn't be, too big of a surprise. Even though they almost surprised the Sacramento Kings the other day. But over-under sitting at about 218.5. So which isn't bad. Memphis is, currently offensive ratings only 106.9. That's understandable. Like, basically their whole team is injured. Their defensive rating is 113.3, and their pace is pretty slow at a 98.56. Which actually is probably going to benefit them in this one because the Golden State is actually, their pace is 100.25, so they're probably even out roughly around that 99-100 mark. So they're actually, Memphis could be benefiting with the up pace. Golden State is basically a similar team as the Sacramento Kings. I'm not trying to cause any issues here, but gameplay style wise, they're basically pretty similar. Three balls, live and die by the three. Their defensive rating is 115.5, and their offense is 116.8. Sit back, sit tight. The next probably 10 minutes is going to be injuries here, but I'll go fast now. So only the really key ones to worry about here. Golden State is Draymond Green. He is a game time decision, questionable with the back thing. It looked like he did come out of the game. His previous game here, he only played 18 minutes. I'm going under the impression he's probably going to play, but, I'm going to definitely be keeping an eye because I do have one of my key players that are going to highly benefit from him if he does happen to sit. Moses Moody, not too big of a potential contender. He is a game time decision and a 6K, one of the 6,500 value players. So if you're looking, potentially at going that low, keep an eye on that news. And then here we go, Memphis Grizzlies. I'll just go over Vince Williams here. Game time decision. He is doubtful. He's been out for probably about the last 12 days. About 12 games or so. He is doubtful. So to me, that means he's not playing. However, I've seen doubtful play before. So, like I said, this one's definitely and a 12-5. You really don't want to risk that. You will be waiting for the news on that one. Then you got Santi Aldama. Game time decision, he's questionable. I believe he's playing. He's had an elbow injury. He's played the last 2 games, played 38 minutes in both of them. He's fine. And then there's so many players out right now for the Memphis Grizzlies. Marcus Smart, Lamar Stevens, Luke Kennard, Scottie Pippen, not Scottie Pippen. No. Yuka Watanabe, Brandon, Derrick Rose. Memphis has 11 active players on their roster. 11. So I think if you're looking for value, highly recommend probably looking at the Memphis, because with 11 players, all of them are probably going to be getting a lot of minutes. So,
or at least some type of minutes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, if you want to any more information before we get on to our key players, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of value. The highest, person on the slate's only 15K. Lineup construction's pretty nice. So
yeah, pretty nice. Not to mention, you and I went to the Memphis Grizzlies game versus the Kings the other night. Thank you again for taking me to the game. That was, man, great time. We had great seats. Man, it was a lot of fun. I actually, this might sound crazy, I didn't realize Gigi Jackson is a really big guy and, kind of looked like Jaren Jackson. And so I had, rostered a lot of people, and I kept seeing Jackson score, because it was one of the 2 Jacksons who kept scoring. Here I was thinking it was like, I'm like, man, Jaren Jackson is just all over the place. And then I realized, oh, wait, that's Mr. Gigi Jackson out there also. They both did score over 40 fantasy points. And, leading into that, I think, like you mentioned, 11 active players. I could see this leading a highly 3-2 Grizzly roster type construction, even if you think Golden State's going to win, strictly because of usage and the low amount of players that Memphis has. So that's all I got to say there.
All right, well, let's head over to our key players, and let you go ahead and start this shindig off.
All right, I am going to start this shindig off with Mr. Jonathan Kuminga.
Jonathan Kuminga, okay.
Yes, sir. From the Golden State Warriors, he is at 13K, which that's the most expensive I've ever seen him, I think. It's crazy. Usually Andrew Wiggins would be the guy that's up there. Wiggins has just had an off year. He hadn't been getting as many minutes. Man, it's just crazy. Either way, Kuminga was drafted by Golden State. I think he's really developed. Even though, the minutes are there over these, last games. I know, fantasy point wise, the last time he scored above 40 was 2 weeks ago against the Milwaukee Bucks. It did only take him 25 minutes to do that. However, the last time he played against the Memphis Grizzlies, he did score, I believe, 46 fantasy points. I am just double checking right now.
46.2.
Yeah, 46.2. And, with the Grizzlies having 11 active players, I could see Kuminga going out there and doing work. The Memphis Grizzlies are giving up, I want to say, I believe it was 37 fantasy points to that position. Sorry guys, my computer is going a little slow, and what I had on here for my notes doesn't want to show up for me. So anyway, judging off what I do know, Kuminga's out there. He's been doing really well as far as raw points. Against the Lakers, 23, 27, 22, 26. So, and those are just raw points only, no other category. He's really getting the ball in the bucket. So, um, after seeing Memphis play the other night, I could definitely see Kuminga and his athleticism really getting some stuff done. The 13K, I'll be mainly having him at the star. I will have him at the pro a little bit. Um, I'm only going to be doing probably 10 lineups or so. I don't think I'm going to venture him to the MVP. But if you did 1 out of 10 lineups, just for ownership reasons, but primarily, I'll be rostering him at the star and the pro. So that's my first pick. Again, at that 13K, I know that is what's going to make this tough here, but I think that should keep the ownership off of him, which is a big reason I'm going there. So, what are your thoughts, and who do you got for your first play?
Yeah, no, I like Kuminga. Star might be too risky. I mean, like you said, he has only, looking back but basically two, games over 40 in the last basically 2 months. Does he have the potential? Absolutely. Memphis is shorthanded. They're going to be probably playing long minutes. But, and then on top of that, if it does become a blowout, then Kuminga would probably be sitting and not getting the full minutes. So I do see him definitely pro. But like you said, using him in the star to get that ownership play is definitely a good play. You just gotta hope he gets one of these at least 30-point nights if you're gonna have him in the star to even be competitive.
For sure, 100%.
My first guy, I'm gonna go with Mr. Mr. Tracy Jackson Davis from the Golden State Warriors. I do like him. This is kind of be like more like my semi value play-ish kind of guy. I'm really kind of banking on maybe Draymond, sitting or getting a little bit less minutes. Dude's been going nuts the last, few games, averaging 24.5 minutes in the last 5. His usage a little low, 14.6. However, he has been averaging 30.3 fantasy points, and he's sitting at 9.5K. So to me, that's pretty insane, and he's projected roughly about 27 points. As far as, he has a great matchup. Memphis is, typically gives up about 22 fantasy points to his position. They just gave up about 44 to Sacramento. They gave up about 38 to OKC recently and about 32.3 to Portland. So just in that kind of that backup power forward center position. So I like him. I like the value, and I do like him in both the pro and the utility positions.
Awesome. Yeah, that is actually my second pick I had up. So that well. His over the last 5 games, his fantasy points per minute is let's just call it 1.4 fantasy points per minute. He last time they played Memphis. So he only played 10 minutes, or he played 10 minutes January 15th. He got 18 fantasy points. He played 10 minutes. I mean, so a guy that's like that, when he played February 2nd, they won that one 121 to 101. He played 9 minutes. He had 15 fantasy points. So that type of guy, he's up 24 minutes over the last 3 games. Memphis is giving up about 14 rebounds to power forward reserves. Man, it's just everything seems to be lining up nicely for him. And at 9,500, man, I'm sure, especially if Draymond is out, because he's been doing those things with Draymond in, he'll probably be insane chalk at the utility. So going pro to me is going to be like the move. I will have him at the utility as well, but trying to get him into that pro spot. I think going star would be a little advantageous, but I have seen crazier things happen. But yeah, man, great pick. He's been playing. He's been playing great. Um, if we were saying just normal slates, if you were playing the main slate, he has been in the optimal lineup. I'd say 5 times out of the last 8 to 10 games.
Yeah.
And again, I understand that salary is different, but usually, and that strategy is different. But that just shows you. I'm just trying to give you another reference point to how good he's been playing as of late. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. Well, I'll hit up my second one since you jumped on. You had the same guys here, and going on to my second pick, I'm going another value play here. I do like him quite a bit. After seeing him play the other night against Sacramento, as Mr. Jake LaRavia. Well, probably butchered that. Last 5 games, he is averaging about 28.5 minutes. His usage is 19.2, which is pretty nice. He is averaging about 24.9, 25 fantasy points, and he's projected roughly about 23 fantasy points. I do like him in the utility spot. He is an 8K value. So at 8K, getting upwards of 25, 30 fantasy points, I don't see, not to mention, like I mentioned earlier, they have 11 players. So he just got 40 minutes against Sacramento. Mind you, that did go into overtime. But then it was 23-30, 23-24. So he is getting, decent amount of minutes, and he is, producing in that time. So I like him at the 8K spot. So that's my second pick.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great pick. I will definitely be having quite a bit exposure to him. As you mentioned, his minutes have been up. They're steady. His floor and ceilings both look nice. I can't really see going. It'd be risky to go higher than that pro spot, but depending on how this game turns out, and with them only having 11 guys, he could be in the star spot especially if Golden State, they're favored by 10. If they were to
the pro spot.
Yeah, no. The pro spot will be the main thing. I meant to say to bump him up to
even star. Oh,
yeah,
that's well, maybe. I mean, potentially he did score a 140-point game, but I would say he'll be super chalked in the utility. But bumping him into pro would probably be a decent ownership play.
That's where you're hoping. Again, my game script would be not blowout, but Golden State is favored by 10. It is a home game.
I would say, but you got to keep in mind, regardless of a close game or a blowout, they have 11 people.
Yeah, I mean, my point here is that Golden State's top guys are, let's say it's a blowout.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I understand now. Okay.
That Golden State, their guys will be off the floor. So now we don't have to worry about them getting those extra minutes and their bench guys coming in while he's still on the floor.
Yeah, so I don't think he'd be. I mean, I don't see him being over 1 or 2% owned in the star. There's no way.
Oh no, I fully agree. He's much more of a pro spot. I'm hoping that the 8,000 will keep people keeping him out of that pro spot. Out of the pro. Because usually with that production and everything, I could see 20-25%. However, I think that 8K might keep that down in the mid-teens. I'm hoping for 12 to 14% would be great ownership there. So great play. I'll be having quite a bit of exposure to him myself. Do you want to go ahead and go here with your last pick? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Initial.
you can jump in on your last pick here, and then
Uh,
I'll go ahead and get it.
All right. I was a little torn whether I wanted to go with Jaren Jackson Jr. or with Mr. Gigi Jackson. I believe I'm going to go ahead and go with Gigi Jackson. Mainly because he's 10-5. Versus Jaren Jackson is 14-5. So that is 4,000 less. And right now, Gigi's been he's been doing pretty good, man. And from what I saw with my own two eyes, man, he had a great night against Sacramento. He did play 44 minutes, but he had 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. His minutes are averaging 38 minutes a game over the last 3. He's got the positive pace differential going here up against the Warriors, so kind of similar like Sacramento with that pace that they'll be going against. And again, we both know Jaren Jackson Jr. can get in foul trouble at any given moment, at any given time. I've seen that just ruin fantasy nights. So for 4,000 less, and they both, if I'm not mistaken, Jaren Jackson Jr., he had 44 against Sacramento fantasy points complete, and then against OKC he had 40, to where my boy GG at 10-5, he had 37.4 and then 32.8, and again, that's 4,000 less. So it just really lets you do great things with your roster by going that route. I'm not even opposed to rostering both of them. Again, I'll mainly be doing 3-2 Memphis and 2 people from Golden State. So, yeah, man, GG Jackson, mainly the pro spot for me. I will be going star. MVP, advantageous. I feel much more comfortable with how many lineups I'm doing, going like Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., a Steph Curry, kind of in that range. But if I were to slide, someone else in there, he could sneak at the star in. I'm talking 1 out of 100 lineups, so nothing crazy. I'm sorry, the MVP. So, yeah, GG Jackson is the play. What are your thoughts on that? And then who do you got here for your last pick?
Yeah, no, I think he's a good play. Like you said, mentioned him. He had a pretty good game against Sacramento, but everybody does. But no, he's a good player, and I think he's one of the better players on Memphis. I know I would like to see how he does now. I think Bane has only been back for just the 2 games now, so he's kind of settling in there. But he did have, like I said, had a good game. I think he'll be up there as far as MVP. Probably, maybe not. There's always a chance he can, but star pro. Star will be the ownership play. I think he'll be in the pro quite a bit, and even the utility. But yeah, no, I like him. Good play. I'll have him. And like you said, that 3-2 construction is just from the value from Memphis is pretty nice. So it'd be kind of hard to lean at even a 4-1, assuming that Memphis can keep it close. So with that, I like it. Moving on here to my third pick, and I'm going to go with the other Jackson, Mr. Jaren Jackson Jr. So you get both perspectives now. So yeah, Mr. Jaren Jackson, he's averaging 34.5 minutes in the last 5 games. Usage, most on the team, 28.8. It's crazy. Him and Bane are basically the only ones above 20 for Memphis, and they're both at like 28%. It's insane. He's averaging 42.9 fantasy points last 5, and he's projected about that 41.1. So, yeah, he's definitely, any position in the multiplier. Probably he'll be up there at one of the top ones in the MVP. Probably pretty heavy in star. Pro would probably be where you get your most benefit from him ownership wise. However, I think just his minutes, his usage, and what he does to the team since everybody's out, he's basically the guy. I mean, I know Desmond Bane is there as well, but it's him. Now, like you mentioned before, the only real concern with him is him getting into foul trouble. And I did also see, in the game that he kind of, if he doesn't get the call when he goes up for the foul, he kind of lags behind a little bit on defense or whatever it may be. So he does kind of get frustrated easily, I would say. But I guess so does every other NBA player.
Like I was gonna say, like Jalen Brunson we saw at the New York game.
Yeah, dude. But then he lit the Kings up for 35 points.
He did, but he that entire game, bro. I'm just saying.
So yeah, I mean, he did have four blocks against the Kings last time. So but he seems to be pretty consistent. He did have a 6-block game against Philly, but 1 or 2 blocks a game. So that's really nice fantasy points. He is a good defensive player when he's playing and not running down behind everybody. So yeah, no, I like him for sure, and I will be probably more likely be pretty heavy on him. And like I said, at 14.5, like I don't know, how Fanduel does their salary thing, but not having a player over 15.5, 16K is so nice for lineup construction. You can fit in so many stars. It's literally probably going to be another one that just happened, when the previous win here at Denver, Minnesota, where it's so chalky, but hey, still a win's a win. But you can literally fit Curry, Jackson, Bane in a lineup and still be sitting at 8,200 average.
Feeling good about
feeling good, and then throw in, like I mentioned, like I said, that Javier guy, and then Konard. That's a decent lineup. Or if you want, save some salary, throw in Wiggins there. So there's plenty of. It's crazy.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, most games we cover, we're used to seeing a 17.5 guy, followed by a 16.5 guy. You know what I'm saying? But
but maybe I gave an extra free lineup there if you're paying attention. But now to get what everybody's been waiting for, and if you did jump ahead, here are those 2 free lineups. Here, looking pretty different, pretty unique. Each lineup's pretty unique. I like it. So with that, as we wrap up today, don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It does help us. Both actions are free, and it does help us out quite a bit. We love to bring you guys into the community and start getting wins as a community here. So, and as a bonus, if you head over to our short section, we do give away 2 free prize pick lineups, or not lineups, 2 free prize pick entry players from tonight's matchup, the ones that are most likely to hit. So if you are into prize picks, that is always an option there too. So it's just our way to say thanks, and coming in and watching our video. And like I said, subscribe, turn on the notification bells for any of those game breaking news, and breaking news is always in the comments. And with that, hope to see you guys up on the leaderboard. Love seeing our logo up there, and let's win it. David, take us away here.
I just had one extra comment on Jaren Jackson Jr. It does look like at the end of the season last year, they played on March 18th. He only played 29 minutes, had 56 fantasy points. He only had 3 fouls, so it had nothing to do with foul trouble. Um, and he's just the guy with his ceiling. He will be up there as one of my prime MVP pro people. But yeah, man, hey, things have been going great here at the pod. Last week was a great week for us. Things seem to only be getting better from here on out. You got that nice first place victory last night. If you guys got any questions, comments about how we do things, you want any other different type of information, just let us know. Please like, subscribe, and good luck to everybody out there. And we will see you on the next one.
Yeah, and just if you're still here and still listening, keep in mind we're going to be doing a few more single game slates for the remainder of the week. We typically do about 3 or 4, each week, and it's probably more likely the Lakers or the Clippers. But with that, we're also looking into getting up some UFC content. We do UFC main slate over on DraftKings, so if you are interested in that, the goal here, when we're working on the content, is to get up something for the UFC 300 April 13th. So hopefully we can pull it together, get some good content out for you guys, and we'd love to start covering that UFC, and especially it's the main slate. It's not a showdown or a single game. So I know a lot of people like to do those main slates. So with that, I'll end it, and everybody let's win big. Let's get it.